Welcome everyone. I am Yogi Ahimsananda, and we are here live in the Yoga at Home group for week 2 of beginning yoga. We'll take a couple of minutes to get settled in and get ourselves centered. I invite you to sit in Sukhasana, a simple seated posture. We'll just kind of take a moment here and get centered. Last week we covered a lot of basics. Just kind of a recap. My beginning yoga series is an 8-week course. Now, the whole goal of it is to progress gradually and get into an intermediate class, which I'll teach those at another time. We'll start those after this 8-week course, and then these beginner courses, so we'll be doing beginners and intermediate. I'll probably have 2 different days for them. But for now, let's just kind of go with this. My style is that of a traditional Hatha, but it also is a blend that will see some vinyasa, some power, that kind of a flow. Excuse me. These classes will help you reach many goals, anything that you're struggling with as far as anxiety, depression, lack of flexibility. We'll cater to your needs, okay? I'm always available for you to reach out to me and either send me a private message, or if you ever want to connect in like a live video in Facebook Messenger or whatever, we can kind of go over stuff, do kind of an orientation. In fact, I'll probably just do an orientation video as well. But I kind of like to be more personal and talk to you specifically, the student, and that way I have a better idea of who you are, what your goals, what your needs are, going over things like if you'd had injuries in the past or whatever. I know I've suffered a lot of injuries in the past. I'm a former professional wrestler and onstage musician. I experienced a lot of issues with my neck and my knees, my hips, things to that nature that yoga has really kept me from being on a cane, basically, or walking with a cane. What I always say is, if whatever you have as far as an issue, that there is a yoga for it. Yoga asanas are the third of 8 limbs of the Ashtanga 8 limbs of yoga. And we're going to focus mainly on the asanas, of course. There will be a little bit of philosophy and theory that will be kind of dribbled in, but if you want more classes or more information on that, just request them with me, and I'll be happy to spend that time with you. What I want you to do is to be mindful, staying here in Sukhasana. Understand your edge of comfort. The edge of comfort is basically when you're in an asana or a pose, you will feel the energetic burn, so don't get confused with that, and that's good and healthy. What you don't want is to try to push yourself beyond that. You want to understand that edge of comfort and stay within that fine line of it. If you're going in an asana and you're feeling, wow, if I go a little bit further, I can probably do it, but I might risk injury. Okay, that's your edge of comfort right there. Back off of that a little bit, and then you'll find that comfortable, energetic burn that is safe for you. Your safety is of the utmost importance with me. Excuse me. Unfortunately, I can't see you, and I can't hear you, and I can't make those verbal adjustments that I normally would in a in-person class, or if we were doing a live one-on-one, either on Zoom or Fiverr, or, well, not even on Fiverr, it'd be on Facebook or Zoom, that I'd be able to spend a little bit more time noticing and making those verbal adjustments for you. So what I do is I will try to be clear with the instructions of how to do the poses. I always get like kind of dry in the throat. I think it might be some sort of anxiety, or whenever I go live, that I have that tendency to clear my voice, so I apologize for that. It's something that I'm working through. Plus, I'm in a very dry climate here in southeastern Colorado. Notice your thoughts and how you're feeling, okay? Keep your body, breath, and mind connected at all times. Stay grounded and centered, but strong and relaxed, and of course, loving and compassionate. Avoid pain and discomfort, as I said, but do not confuse with an energetic burn. Rest is needed, and it is always okay to smile. Face yoga is wonderful. When I say rest is needed, that means that you could go into Balasana, which is a resting asana. I will also bring us into Balasana at various points through the sequencing. There's always a modification for any asana, and I will cover over some of those modifications as we go through with class. Remember a couple of key things though. Don't lock your knees, okay? Doing forward bends, standing, balancing asanas, don't lock your knees. There's that fine line where your knee is straight, your legs are straight, but the knee is not locked. Don't lock that. You can risk hyperextension and other injuries. I'm very conscientious about that because I have two very, very bad knees. I used to suffer from sciatica a lot. Yoga has helped with that tremendously. But I do have those back and neck injuries, so if you do as well, be mindful of that. I will not teach you headstand in this capacity. I will not teach a headstand or try to instruct you to go into a headstand in a virtual situation like this. That is just irresponsible, and I advise any of you that may be watching to don't try it unless you are with a trained yoga instructor that can safely guide you. I believe it's pretty much an unnecessary asana. I think the risks outweigh any of the benefits that are with supported headstand. So I won't teach it here. We will do some shoulder stands and some other inversions. And I know a lot of you have seen pictures and videos of, flexible people in their 20s. I'm 40 years old with injuries. I'm not that flexible like that anymore. So you go as far as you go. This is your yoga. It's not a competition with anybody but yourself. Trying to imitate some of those pictures that you see here on Facebook or on YouTube videos and stuff like that, or imitate some of the asanas and poses that you see. It's just not healthy for you to just go ahead and try and say, well, I think I can get into that, and then you risk injuring yourself. What I'm going to be teaching you is basic Hatha yoga, and we're going to start slowly and gradually work our way up. You are going to feel the energetic burn that I'm talking about, but the whole goal is don't just say, well, my back hurts, so what asanas will work for me? Oh, someone will post, do this asana, or here's a picture of that asana, or watch this video. That's not safe either. You've really got to, you got to warm up the body. You've got to warm up the body, and my flow will show you how to gradually warm up the body that will lead you to be able to do other asanas. can't just jump into a pigeon and be like, oh, this feels so great on my legs. Let's warm other stuff up to that area first. So that's why these classes, I recommend we start cold, so to speak. We'll start in that fashion, so don't like, oh, I've got yoga class with Paul here coming up. I'm going to go ahead and do a little bit of stretching out before we go live. Nah, don't do that. We'll get there together. That's unnecessary and also can cause potential injuries. This is also why I stay away from what's called that hot yoga. Cranking up the heat in the room and trying to stretch and bend a little further. And that kind of environment is also unhealthy. It gives you a false sense of security, and it could lead to tears in the muscles and tendons, and cause further damage to the body. So I personally do not recommend trying that. Not to mention like the lots and lots of sweat and bacterial and all that kind of the gross stuff of that, which I'm sure you could figure out for yourself, or maybe you've read or seen something about that. That's why I shy away from it. But again, everything is your choice. We're going to talk about bandhas first, and then we'll get started in some asanas. But the most important bandha, which is a lock, is called your Mula Bandha. That is at your root of your body, and essentially that is the muscle that controls the flow of urine. So you want your Mula Bandha to be engaged at all times. Again, strong but relaxed. So not super tight and not open and relaxed at 100%. You just want to have that nice engagement where you feel that in. So if you breathe in through the nose, always through the nose, engaging your diaphragm, inhaling up, and try to engage your Mula Bandha. Now, when you're sitting in Sukhasana like this, you don't want to be hunched over forward or sitting up too stiff and rigid. Kind of imagine that there's a string on top of your head and that you just slightly pull that up, and that kind of straightens out the spine. You want the spine straight, strong but relaxed. Those are fundamentals we're going to go over a lot. Other bandhas would include your Jalandhara Bandha, which is a chin lock, chin to chest. So I'll invite you just to look forward at me, breathing in through the nose and out through the nose, and engaging the chin to the chest. And then continue to breathe. The chin lock will be used in several asanas throughout this practice, so I'll be reminding you to engage that from time to time, depending on what we're doing. I speak in English, but sometimes I use Sanskrit terms. It's a fun way to learn. I'll explain both, and it's just kind of the way I teach. The other is dristi, which is your focus or your gaze. Pick a spot out on the floor in front of you, and imagine a laser beam coming off the tip of your nose, aiming directly at that spot you see either on the floor or just out in front of you. That is your gaze or your dristi. We'll be talking about that in certain asanas, to be mindful of the dristi and where your focus needs to be, either at the horizon, at the earth, or at the sky. Dristi to the sky is involved in several asanas that I'll be teaching you. However, I don't want you to lose balance yet. I want you to worry more or focus more on getting the asana correctly, and then the dristi and coming up with the gaze, that will come in time. So if you have to just find that spot on the floor and focus your dristi on there to keep your balance, or at a spot on the wall, that's okay. Remember, it's how you go, not how far you go. Okay. Hasta bandhas would be the hands. I'd be engaging them to the earth. So imagine a couple of stop signs here, and then bring them down to the earth right next to the seat, and spreading out through the hands and gently just pressing down through and lifting the bones off of the earth, your seat bones off of the earth, but not lifting the skin off of the earth. Okay, you feel that? That's engaging the Hasta Bandha. And that's going to be important for what we're going to do second here. Always stay connected to your breath. And yoga is like meditation in motion. So your thoughts may be wandering at any time. You're thinking about anything going on in your life, whatever that might be. If you notice those thoughts starting to drift, notice it and become aware of it, but then bring yourself back to center by letting it go and focusing back on the breath. That's very, very important. So first, what I want us to do is some wrist therapy. We'll warm up these wrists first. Oh, one other thing. I'm going to be in the mirror from you. Okay, I'm going to be in the mirror. What that means is, right now while we're sitting here in Sukhasana, simple seated posture, go ahead and stick out your left hand and make a stop sign with it. Okay, we look like we're in the mirror together. Try it with your right hand. Now I obviously am moving my left hand and arm, but you're moving your right, and if you were standing directly in front of me, we would look like we are in the mirror. So I'm going to be doing class in the mirror when I'm facing you in this direction. So let's go ahead and try some wrist therapy. This week we'll start off everything with the left side, so go ahead and extend your left hand out in front of you in that stop sign, and then simply take your right hand and cross over the fingers. We should be at about shoulder level with the arm, and then simply breathe in through the nose and gently pull back on the wrist, starting to activate and warm up those wrists. And then as you're breathing in, start to raise the hand up to the sky and follow with your drishti, your focus, up towards the sky. And breathing out through the nose, bringing the arm back down to shoulder level, gently pulling back on the fingers, and bringing your focus back to the horizon out in front of you. Now, rotate the hand, pointing the fingers down towards the earth, and clasping the fingers with your right hand, right here at chest or shoulder level. Breathing in through the nose and slowly bringing the hand down towards the root of the body, and following that with your drishti as well. Staying connected to your breath, coming back up, and then switch. So now your right hand is out in front of you, stop sign. Clasp the fingers gently and gently pull back till you feel the stretch in the wrist. Breathing in through the nose and following up towards the sky. And coming back down to center. Switch, pointing the fingers down towards the earth. Breathing in through the nose. Drawing the arm down towards the root. Following it with your eyes. And then back up. And you can go ahead and do some gentle wrist rotations, opening and closing the fingers. Getting everything warm up there. Next, we're going to go into Dandasana. which is a staff pose. So what I'll invite you to do first from Sukhasana, go ahead and center yourself in the prayer position with your hands holding at your heart center. And bring them up towards the sky like you're doing tree. Open the hands like you're in tree. Now face the palms out in front. Staying connected to your breath, bringing the hands down to the earth, engaging the Hasta Bandha right next to your seat. Mula Bandha is engaged. From here, extend your feet out in front of you and tuck and make sure your spine is straight, strong but relaxed. Tuck your chin to the chest. Breathing in and pushing through the hands and gently lifting the seat bones off of the earth with the skin connected to the earth. And feel that energy. Continue to breathe. Hold this for a couple of breaths, breathing in, breathing out, and then let it go. We'll try it one more time. Pressing through the hands, bringing the Jalandhara Bandha, the chin to the chest, breathing in. Don't hold your breaths, continue to breathe. And let it go back down. I'm sure you felt that activation in the body. Next, what we're going to do is sutra to tabletop. So when I say sutra, that's how we're going to go from one position seated to another position. What we'll do, just follow along with me here, is hold your left hand out in front of you, place it on the earth, hold the other hand out, your right hand out, and as you do so, bring your right leg back behind you and putting it on the inside of your knee. Place that right hand to the earth, lifting yourself up and bring the left leg through the center of your body into tabletop. To go back, you'd stick the right leg out, lift the hand, come back through, and then you could be in Sukhasana again. So if you wanted to follow along with that, that's fine. Other times we'll work on it going from the other side. But for today, we'll stay with the left. So to Sutra, I'll just show you from here or here, since we were just in Dhanurasana. Lifting up, coming back, engaging the hands, and drawing the left leg through the body. And now you're in tabletop. Okay, that's all fours. In this position, there is wide tabletop. There is narrow tabletop with the knees almost touching. And then there's just tabletop with the knees at shoulder width apart. Looking forward, what we're going to do is first start with some cat and cow. So we'll start with cat first. Breathing in and engaging your chin to the chest and arching your back like a cat. The toes should be disengaged. So that means the tops of the feet are on the earth. Pressing through the hands. Breathing out and bringing the seat back. Engaging the toes and looking forward towards the horizon into cow. Breathing in, disengage the toes. Arching the back up, chin to chest, into cat. Cow. Cat. Cow. and cat. Let that go back into tabletop. Next, what we'll do is sunbird. Sunbird, essentially, what we'll do is you'll take your left hand and bring it out in front of you. At the same time, taking your right leg and putting it behind you. So from this angle, at tabletop, have the toes and your supporting toe will be engaged. Your extended foot will be disengaged, pointing the tops of the foot towards the earth. Your dristi will be focused at the horizon in front of you, just over the tops of your finger. Okay, so this is sunbird. Then it alternates, and you would extend the right hand out and the left leg back. Okay, so let's do a few cycles of sunbird together. We'll start with the left hand first. Bring the right leg back, breathing in and breathing out. Right hand coming up, breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in, and we're going to hold it now for 2 breaths. So this is called Ujjayi breath. It's like fogging up a mirror or making the sound of the ocean with your breath. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Switch. The mouth is for eating and talking. The nose is for breathing. Staying here for a couple of breaths. Starting to work on our balance. Feeling the energy through the legs and the supporting arm. Back. One more here. With the left side. I am balanced. I am strong. Switch. And back to tabletop. Next, we'll step into Palakasana, which is a plank pose. So step the left leg back, step the left leg back, and then the right into a push-up, beginning push-up position. From here, this is Palakasana. Breathing in and engaging the chin to the chest, pushing back through the hands into downward dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Continue staying focused on your breath. We're just warming the body up slowly right now. And step forward with your left and then your right. Touching your fingertips to the earth. Slight bend in the knees. Your feet don't have to be all the way together. They can if you want, or they can be separated a little bit. Don't lock the backs of your knees. Have your dristi focused out in front of you. This is called the valley. Breathing in and breathing out, placing the palms of the hand onto the earth and tucking the chin to the chest. It's okay if you have to bend with the knees a little bit to get there, or if you have a yoga block, you can use that as well. Just warming the body up. Now, from the river, we'll start a slow, forgiving rise. So gently start to stack the spine, one vertebrae at a time, keeping the chin to the chest. As we begin to stand up, raise the hands up to the sky, following it with your drishti up into the summit. And putting the hands together, bringing them down to the chest into Namaste Mountain. So when I say just Namaste, of course that means my heart, soul, honor your heart and soul. But that's what I'm saying when we're going into Namaste Mountain. Again, you can have the feet together like that. I, as a male, just like to have just a slight little gap there. Breathing in and getting centered in Namaste Mountain. Now is the point of class when we do our dedications. So at this time, I invite you to speak the name or names of anyone that you want to send positive energy out to, friends, family, loved ones, pets. Just by speaking their names, like your mom or your dad, or whoever it may be, sending that positive energy to them. Then take a moment, staying connected to your breath, and give a few personal dedications to whoever that may be, a higher energy, anyone around the world, someone you're aware of suffering, in general, just to the surrounding areas in which you may live, even in your building or neighborhood, sending that positive energy to them, and bending forward into a bow to send that energy off, and then coming back up into Namaste Mountain. Now we will do Surya Namaskara 1, which we covered last week in week 1. We'll go over it again slowly as a refresher. Get centered. You did most of it already, warming up. Coming into mountain, hands at the side, gaze in front of you. This is called Tadasana, or mountain. Breathing in, up into the summit. Breathing out, down to the river, so that's palms flat on the earth, tucking the chin to the chest. Breathing into the valley, fingertips to the earth. Gaze in front, stepping back with the left and then the right, and all the way down into prone. So we won't pause in Plakasana, it's all one motion. And then breathing in, coming up into locust. Shalambhasana. Breathing out, engaging the hands and toes. Pushing up and back into Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward dog. Stepping forward with the left and then the right into the valley. Breathing out into the river. Tucking the chin to the chest. Breathing in, up to the summit. And breathing out back into Namaste Mountain. Get centered. Connect to the breath. Now we'll do the other side, starting off with the right leg. Breathing in. Breathing out into mountain. Breathing in, up to the summit. Breathing out, down to the river. Breathing in to the valley. Stepping back with the right and the left and all the way down to prone. Breathing in to locust. Breathing out, engaging the hands and feet back into downward dog. Stepping forward with the right and then the left into the valley. Breathing out into the river. Breathing in up to the summit. And breathing out into Namaste. Very good. Now, I wonder if we're ready to learn Surya Namaskara number 2. I think we are. Surya Namaskara 2. Now again, there's always going to be different variations in books and different videos, different instructors teaching certain asanas and what they call Surya Namaskara 1 or Surya Namaskara A or B or 2 or 3 or whatever the case may be. This is how I was taught, and this is how I'll teach you. So just follow along and stay connected to the breath. We'll start here in Namaste Mountain, and we're going to walk through this one slowly, so we won't go one breath, one movement. It'll be a little bit more explanatory, and just follow along and follow how I'm guiding you, and you'll be completely fine. And then we'll do it at normal speed after we've ran through it on each side. So Namaste Mountain into Tadasana. Staying connected, remember breathing in up to the valley, up to the summit, down to the river, then to valley, fingertips to the earth. This is where we will go into a new asana called low lunge. So as you step back with your left leg, place the palm or the sole of the foot, the pada bandha, to the earth. Engage the hands back to the earth, and having the right leg bent at a 90-degree angle. Find that stretch right there. This is called low lunge. I'll show it to you from this angle as well. This is also where blocks can come in handy if you're still not able to get all the way down. So from low lunge, we'll breathe in and come up into high lunge. Okay? It's raising the hands up to the summit, following with the drishti, keeping that 90-degree with the knee. Back leg supported, legs about the shoulder width apart. So again, from low lunge into high lunge. Okay. It's called Anjaneyasana or high lunge. Breathing out, bringing the hands back down to the earth and stepping back with that right leg into Palakasana, the plank pose. Next new asana we'll learn is Ashtanga, which is bringing your knees, chest, and chin to the earth. And then disengaging the toes and pushing up through into Bhujangasana, which is Cobra. Okay, I'll show you that here. So from Palakasana down to Ashtanga, knees, chest, and chin, and then disengaging the toes and pushing up into Cobra, Bhujangasana. Now, there's others that are Sphinx, which would be here. And I know in some practices like Yin, they would call this Cobra, but here's where I want you to be. Okay? And that's different from Upward Dog, which would be here. Or here. So right here is Cobra. Not too much strain on the back. Just simply pressing through and up. Okay? So from Cobra, Bhujangasana, engage the toes, come back up into Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward dog. Okay? And then next, we will step forward with the left into low lunge again. So notice it's opposite from before, from when you first step back. Working both sides of the body. Then back up into high lunge, Anjaneyasana, Coming back down and stepping forward up with that left foot or right foot into the valley. Breathing out into the river. Breathing in up to the summit. Breathing out back into Namaste Mountain. Okay, so that's going to be Surya Namaskara 2. We'll do that again on the other side, and we'll move a little bit quicker, not too much quicker. I just want you to understand that if you get confused at first with the stepping backs into low lunge and then coming forward back into low lunge on the way up, it's just alternating. So if at first you step back with one leg, you'll step forward with the other, and then that'll work the other side. And you'll catch on. It takes everybody a couple of tries. So if you get confused or you messed up, don't get frustrated, just make the simple adjustment and switch and continue on. Breathing in, Namaste Mountain. Breathing out into the mountain, Tadasana. Breathing in, up to the summit. Breathing out, down to the river. Remember your bandhas. Breathing in to the valley. Now stepping back with your right leg into low lunge. Breathing out, coming back into high lunge. Breathing out, bringing the hands to the earth, engaging the Hasta Bandha and stepping back into Palakasana. Ashtanga, knees, chest, and chin to the earth. Breathing out, disengage the feet, push through into Bhujangasana. Cobra. Engage the toes, push up and through, back into Downward Dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Stepping forward with the right into low lunge. High lunge. Valley, stepping forward with the left leg into the valley. Breathing out into the river. Breathing in up to the summit. Breathing out, Namaste Mountain. Very good. Do you think that you can go along with that now? You think that we'll be able to remember all the way through by me just giving the instructions and you looking up and following me along? I think you can. There are a great bunch of students out there. So what we'll do is we'll do Surya Namaskara number 2 again. Okay? And we'll begin starting off with the left leg first. Breathing in. Namaste Mountain. Breathing out to the mountain. Breathing in up to the summit. Breathing out down to the river. Breathing into the valley. Stepping back with the left leg into the low lunge. Breathing, going into high lunge. Breathing out, going into Palakasana. Breathing out, down into Ashtanga, knees, chest, and chin to the earth. Into Bhujangasana. Engaging the feet, pushing through into Downward Dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Stepping forward with the left. See, I did it. And then coming up into high lunge. It's hard too being in the mirror, trying to remember. But as we go faster, it'll make more sense. Down into low lunge. Stepping forward into the valley. Breathing out into the river. Breathing in, up to the summit. Breathing out to Namaste. Next, we'll do the right side. You're doing good. Breathing in, mountain, summit, river. Remember to stay connected to the breath. Valley. Stepping back with the right leg into low lunge. Breathing out, back into high lunge. One breath, one motion. Into Palakasana. Down into Ashtanga, knees, chest, and chin to the earth. Pushing up and through into Bhujangasana, Cobra. Engaging the toes, back into Downward Dog. Stepping forward with the left, low lunge. Breathing out, back over into high lunge. Going forward and coming up into the valley. Breathing out into the river. Breathing into the summit. And then breathing out back into Namaste. Very good. You've come a long way. So now we'll start with some standing asanas. So from Namaste, we'll basically do a lot of the same stuff that we did last week. If you're with us, we'll just try to perfect them a little bit better this week. So first we'll start off with the left side into Warrior One. So from Namaste Mountain, breathing out into the mountain, stepping back with the left leg, and then coming into Warrior One. So again, it's similar to a high lunge, but you'll notice the difference. In high lunge, we're about 2.5, 3 shoulder widths apart. Okay. Warrior One, we're about half of that. And if we have to start off simple, we're just putting the hands on the thighs to get in the position correctly. You should be able to look straight down at a 90-degree. Back of the heel to the back of the knee, front of the knee over the tips of your big toe. And then just bring the hands up and see if you can follow it this week with your eyes coming up to the summit here. And now we're in Warrior One. From here, we're going to do things a little different than last week. And we're going to transition from here in Warrior One to Warrior Two. So how do you do that? Kind of bring your body down, pivot, switch your back supporting foot, and raise the hands into Warrior Two. So now it should be almost like an L stance with your feet. So essentially the inside of your right leg should be aligned with the heel of the left leg. So essentially if they were here to here, you'd be stepping back. Okay? And then you twist the hips slightly and come into Warrior Two. So from Warrior One, one breath, one motion, pivot and transition into Warrior Two. And step forward into Namaste Mountain. We'll do the next side. Breathing in, breathing out into the mountain. Stepping back with the right leg. Try to go in all one motion to Warrior One. We'll hold here for a couple of breaths. Breathing out, make the adjustment, switch into warrior two. Sliding that back leg forward into Namaste Mountain. Next, what we're going to do is a little bit longer of a sequence with that. So we're going to start off again with warrior one, starting with the left leg first. But let's try to do it all in one motion. Breathing in, breathing out into mountain, stepping back and up into warrior one. Switching to warrior two. Now let's see if you remember from last week where we will do extended warrior. So place the left hand or elbow onto the left knee, bringing your focus and gaze up towards the sky, cupping your hand, looking up at the palm of your hand. Don't lean forward like this. Just try to bring it straight down, staying in a straight line. Then breathing out back into warrior two. Now place that right hand back behind your back. And gently ease your body backwards, rotating the left hand, looking up at the inside of the palm into peaceful warrior. Back into warrior two, and then into Namaste Mountain. Very good. We'll do the other side, stepping back with the left leg first. Mountain, then warrior one. Get yourself nice and positioned. Breathe in, kind of come up on your toe and pivot. Rotating your torso into warrior two. Breathing out and coming into extended warrior. Back into warrior two. Into peaceful warrior. Remember to keep that right knee still bent at the 90 degree. There's sometimes a hesitancy to kind of rock back on the knee. Try to avoid that. Keep the Pada Bandha, the feet planted into the earth. And then back into warrior two. Stepping forward back into Namaste Mountain. Get centered here. We'll go ahead and do tree like we did last week. Now remember the variations, so stay wherever you are. Or you can try to explore a little further if you feel stability and balance. Again, with the left leg first, just kind of bend the right leg and come up and straighten it out a little bit again. Place the sole of the foot just barely touching the pant of your right leg, and that knee should be pointing out into to your left, essentially. So from here again, just try along with me. And here we are. So your legs are open in this fashion. Now with the hands to the chest. Don't follow with your drishti yet, because I don't want you to lose your balance. But just simply start to bring the hands up towards the sky. And if you can, start to open those branches. If you can't, that's okay. If you start to lose your balance, just come out of it. Or if you start to feel too much burn, otherwise just follow along here. And back into Namaste Mountain. We'll do the other side now. So again, go through your checklist. Stay rooted down with that supporting leg, Pada Bandha. All four corners of your foot planted into the earth, rooted down deep. And don't kick the knee, just barely be touching to the pant leg. Slowly start to come up. Don't worry about following the gaze yet. You're not there yet. And if you're right here, that's perfectly good. Or if you want to bring some branches out, if you feel like you can. Stay connected to the breath. And then bring it all back into Namaste Mountain. It's very good. Now that we've worked on our balancing here, I'd like to throw a few more in there, but I don't want to run long on that, and I think we've got a pretty good balance started here. Next week we'll learn some more, but I want to get rooted with those fundamentals first. So next we're going to vinyasa to the seat. If you remember from last week, that's one breath, one motion for vinyasa, and essentially we're going to do basically beginning parts of Surya Namaskara to work ourselves back to our seating position. So from Namaste Mountain, just follow along into mountain, breathing in up to the summit, out down to the river, into the valley, stepping back with your right and then your left leg into Palakasana. And then essentially from here, we'll sutra to the seat. So step that right leg out, bring the left leg through, and now you're in Sukhasana. Here's a good chance to take a few breaths and meditate, or a small sip of water real quick if you need. Next, we're going to do some boats, Navasana. We'll start simply with tugboat. So to review from last week, I'll go ahead and sit this way for you. We'll pick the hands and cup underneath the backs of the legs, just above the knees, and gently rock back on our seat bones, bringing our knees and feet at a 90-degree angle. Now point the toes out in front of you. Focus your drishti at the horizon. If you need to put your hands onto the earth to balance, that's okay. If you need to hold and support yourself right here, that's okay. Or if you can go into tugboat with your hands to the sides of your legs, that's okay. Just stay focused on your breath. Working on the abs and core here. And then extend the legs out into full boat. And then back into half boat. And then into full boat. Half boat. And Sukhasana. We'll learn some fancier variations of different boats in the coming weeks. For now, that's good for the core. Let's go ahead and sutra to tabletop. So from Sukhasana, engage the left hand to the earth. Bring the right leg back and around. Engage the other hand, pushing up and through into Palakasana. Okay. Chaturanga, which would be like a push-up, and hold it there. Back into Palakasana. Down to Ashtanga. Knees, chest, and chin to the earth. Into Chaturanga. Up into Palakasana. And then all the way down to prone. Okay. Next week we'll start working on side planks. But I want to get those arms strengthened up first. So now from prone, let's just go into locust. Now extend the hands out in front of you into full locust. Turn the hands and swim on back And interlock the fingers. Give yourself your breaths. See if you can arch a little bit more into shoulder open locust. Then back into full locust. And then flat down on the earth. And rest on your left cheek. Looking over to your right. Opening up the neck. Getting a little bit of rest in here. Feeling that stretch in the neck. Breathing in and then breathing out, going to the other side, touching the right cheek to the earth. And from here, go ahead and bring the hands engaging into the earth next to the shoulders. Okay. And then we'll get ourselves back into Palakasana, Adho Mukha Shavasana, downward dog. We'll hold that a little bit longer, seeing if you can get the heels closer to the earth. You can bend one leg, one knee a little bit, and then the other, and that'll kind of stretch it out a little further to get that heel closer to the earth. Feels really good. And then come on into tabletop from here. Okay. From tabletop, we'll just basically go into Balasana at this point. So that's touching about the forehead to the earth and bringing the hands back towards the feet. Palms facing up, and then bringing the seat back down towards the heels. This is child's pose or Balasana. You're basically making yourself into a little ball. A football, I guess. And this is a rest pose. Anytime you need rest, no matter what we're doing, you can always go into Balasana. And breathe in through the nose, and out through the nose. Let that energy go through you. Find all kinds of good stuff opening up on your body. I know this one really opens up my shoulders and back. I had an experience in Balasana at one time where I had a lot of tension in my right shoulder. And just coming into Balasana and breathing in through the nose opened up a passageway through my nose on my right side of the face that I could never explain how great that felt, because I've suffered from broken noses. And I actually felt like I got some air in there. Come on up into tabletop. Okay, and then from tabletop, we'll just simply come back on our on our knees into hero. Place your hands on your thighs here. And we'll do a couple of simple neck rolls, so just engage the chin to the chest. Breathing in. As you're breathing in, start to rotate your head to your left until you get all the way back. So nice deep breaths until you get arched back with the neck, and then breathing out, gently rolling it forward. Again to the left, breathing in. Breathing out. To the left, breathing in. Chin to chest. Take a breath in. Breathing out, that Ujjayi breath. Almost like making the sound of the ocean. Now we'll go to the right, breathing in. And breathing out. Breathing in. And breathing out. Oh, this side needed it. Breathing in. Maybe it was the other side for you. And breathing out. Bring your focus back to the horizon. And then what we'll do is we'll go into reclining hero. So basically you can just kind of open the legs up just a little bit here. And then get on your fingertips and just gently start to inch them back. I don't go all the way down because I have my knees. And then just see if you can gently start to bring your body down into reclining hero or Supta Virasana. Just go as far as you can, wherever you feel a good stretch and energetic burn. In time, you'll be able to go back further. But let's just stay nice and easy. And of course, if you have knee injuries and you don't want to do this asana, you don't have to. You can just go into balasana or do some more neck rolls or something. All right, come back up. Oh, that felt so great. Now into tabletop. And then let's go ahead and sutra to the seat. And here we'll do some supine twists, some simple supine twists. So take your left leg and bring it over your right leg just at about the knee level. Place your left foot flat on the earth and go ahead and hug your knee. Let's go through our checklists again real quick. Make sure the back is strong but relaxed and straight. If you got to do the string to the head deal again, that's okay. Kind of find your position and balance here. Now take your right hand and just grab the outside of the left knee. Put your left hand behind you on the earth. Now you can kind of walk your right elbow to the outside of the left knee. Bringing the hand up, breathing in and breathing out into a simple supine twist. Feel that through the hips. This will also massage the intestines. Notice before we did twists, we warmed up a lot of parts of our body. It's very dangerous to go into twists without being properly warmed. Stay here for a couple of breaths. And then gently come out of that. Go ahead and hug that knee to chest again. Get yourself centered. And let's do one more to the left. Try to go in one motion. Oh, that feels so very good. Doing it that second time, you notice, wow, that's really warming up the hips and the sides of the glutes. Good stretch there. Now go ahead and let's switch. Bringing the right leg over the left knee, with the left leg extended out in front, having the right foot flat on the ground. Again, your Pada Bandha. Think of all four corners of your feet stretched out across the earth like a like a tarp on the ground. And if you were pinning it down now, same thing, bring the left elbow to the outside of the right knee. Support your hand behind you. Breathing in and breathing out into the twist. I call it a simple supine twist. They might say half Lord of the Fishes. Yeah, there's lots of different names for a lot of different things. It's more important just to get the asana down as to worrying about too many other things. Okay, go ahead and come out of that. Go ahead and hug that knee again. Get centered. Support that hand behind you and breathing out, giving another twist. Notice the differences between the first time that you did it and the second time that you did it. Notice muscles and parts of the body that you feel energy through or stretch. Oh, I love this asana. Okay, good. You can go ahead and let that go. And from here, we'll go into some butterflies. I like to hold the tops and bottoms of the foot there inside. And then just gently let gravity pull down into the butterfly. Don't bounce and flap the legs. Just gently let gravity pull the knees closer to the earth. I'm not too worried about how close your heels are to the center of your body. Wherever it feels good for you is where you are. Go through your checklist again. Mula Bandha's engaged. Back is straight but not rigid. Strong but relaxed. Give yourself some positive affirmations here. I am healthy. I am strong. See, all throughout the day, we're constantly giving ourselves negative affirmations, saying things in our minds like, I'm not good enough, I'm not strong enough, I'm not smart enough. All that stuff is a lie. That's not true at all. And we do that hundreds of times a day. So what you should do is replace that with positive affirmations. If you ever notice yourself going into negative affirmations, stop yourself, recenter, breathe, and tell you the truth. Even if you don't believe them, you are strong, you are peaceful, you are perfect, you are beautiful, you are confident, you are capable. All those things like that. Now, go ahead and bring the knees up a little bit. And what I like to do is I like to grab the ankles. And as I breathe in and then breathe out, I press the elbows to the insides of the thighs, not the knees, the insides of the thighs, and gently press down, trying to get into a little bit deeper of a stretch. Stay within that edge of comfort. Let that go. Now this time, as you press down with the elbows to the insides of the legs, try to give yourself some resistance by pushing back upwards with your legs, fighting against the arms. So go ahead and breathe in, breathe out, start pressing down with the elbows and pushing up with the legs, the inner thighs, pressing down, causing the resistance there. And then let that go. And then go back in just a simple butterfly. Notice a much deeper stretch there. That's something I need to do every single day. And I hope you do too. Next, from here, we'll do some simple forward bends. So you can either grab the toe, the big toe, hooking it with your finger, the sides of the foot, the pant leg, whatever you may need to do, the ankles, and then slowly open the legs. Oh, I'd say about 2.5, 3 shoulder widths apart. Sit your body back up straight. Go through the checklists. Bandhas engaged, Mula Bandha. Now we're not bending forward yet. We're just getting situated. Notice the muscles in your legs. Are they rolled inside or outside? Try to get everything nice and straight. Bring the hands up to the summit. Follow that drishti up towards the sky. And then breathing out and slowly going into the forward bend. Keep the drishti at the horizon. Back straight, not arched. And just see how far you can extend those hands out with the palms flat on the earth, like in the river. And then just focus your drishti. Don't put a kink in the neck. Just focus the drishti at a spot on the floor out in front of you. And gently see if you can stretch out a little further. Breathing in to wherever you feel tension. Breathing out, letting that tension go. Toes should be pointed up towards the sky. And then sliding the hands back towards the center of your body, straightening your back. Breathing in, bringing the hands up to the summit. Breathing out and coming over to the left side. Here, if you had a strap you can put around your foot or an old sock, that's fine. You just grab the toe with your left hand, that's fine. We're not getting into the fancy stuff yet. You can grab the back of the feet, grab the ankle, the pant leg, wherever you are is just fine. If that's all easy for you, touch your elbow to your knee. Okay? Wherever you are, that's just okay. As long as you're feeling that energy. Just breathe into the tension. Breathing out. Letting it all go. Notice particular parts of muscles that are stiff or sore. And breathe into those areas. Don't let the knee be fully locked either. Your leg can be straight, but just don't lock to hyperextend that knee. And you can go ahead and let that go. Back up to the summit and then over now to the right side. You might feel that you can't go as far or you can go further than you could on the other side. That's okay too. Many people, their legs are just slightly longer than the other one from different injuries or just from walking or the types of shoes that you wear. If you ever are walking behind someone and you notice the back heels of the soles of their shoes or sneakers, you might notice a slight slant in one way or the other. That's an indication of that. You could look at the back of your own shoes and see if you notice that too. Different chiropractors and places, different stores that specialize in that kind of stuff can put shoe lifts in that'll help balance that for you. Hopefully practicing yoga will fix and correct some of those issues as well. But a lot of times it's just like your pelvis isn't centered directly right, so it kind of makes the appearance that one leg is slightly longer than the other. I know I have that issue I'm also a black belt in Taekwondo from many years ago. I suffered a really bad injury practicing breaking boards, doing a flying 180 back kick. Hung my foot up in the bungee cords holding the boards to the board holder, and it hung me upside down and really did a number on my hips. Okay, let that go. Come back up to the summit. And then one more back forward to the center. See if you can go a little bit further now. And let that go. Next, we'll do a couple of inversions, or get you kind of started too. So go ahead and try to bring your seat to your heels with your knees bent. And you can either hold the legs or knees like this, or you can kind of hug and straighten up your body. And then gently, gently, gently roll to the back. And then hug those knees to the chest. Remember to breathe. In through the nose, out through the nose. Breathing in, breathing out. I apologize if you hear additional music beyond the music that I'm playing for us today. You can just notice it and let it go. The neighbors upstairs are listening to that thumpity thump type music, and that's okay. Just notice it if you do and let it go. And stay focused and centered on your yoga. Now, take your elbows and put them inside of your legs, just below the knee, kind of like you were in that butterfly, and then gently just start to open the legs and the hips here. And just breathe into wherever you feel the soreness, or feel the good stretch, or the good burn, wherever it might be. And then bring that go. You can help bring your knees back together, and then hug them again to the chest. And then extend straight up with legs to legs up the wall. If you want to use a wall and practice this asana there, that's fine. Or if you can grab onto your toes if you're there, or pant leg. And just hold the legs straight up. I recommend you try this asana several times a day, or at least in the morning before you go to work or get ready. I would do this for like 4 or 5 minutes before I go in. And then when you get home, after you get out of the shower, and then again before bed. And you could just do it up against a wall and do it for like, 3 to 5 minutes. And it was so good for your body on so many levels, especially if you're on your feet all day at work. Okay, now slowly, slowly, slowly start to bring the legs to the earth. You can support your hands to the earth. Let's try to go about a few inches off the ground with the heels. Hold it there. Breathe. And then let it go. And we'll go into Shavasana, which is corpse pose. So get yourself, your body in a position to where you feel like you'll never have to move again. Situating the seat and the hips. Just like you never have to move again. Gently close your eyes. And let's notice any tension that we might be holding on to all the way from our tops of the head, our forehead and eyebrows, your ears, your cheeks, your jaw, your tongue. Just breathe into those areas and let it go. Next, notice your shoulders, your arms, your elbows, your hands and your fingers. Anything you're holding on to, breathe into those areas and let it go. Also the back, the small of the back. If you're finding resistance or tension in there, again, breathe into it and let it go. Next, notice your legs, your thighs, your hamstrings, your hips, your knees. Are they tense? Are you holding any tension in that area? If so, breathe into it. Notice it, be aware of it, and let it go. Moving down to your calves and your shins, and your feet, and your toes. Are you holding on to anything there? You might not think that you are, but you might be. So just become aware of it, breathe into it, and let it go. Next, for the next few minutes, I invite you to just simply reflect on everything that you've accomplished today in this class, things you've learned, things you did, goals that you might have, and just reflect on this past hour and a half we've spent together. Gently start to wiggle your toes and your fingertips, bringing life energy back into your body. Maybe roll the ankles a little bit. Oh, there's a couple stops. Don't worry, that's not bone to bone. That's nitrogen gas being released. That's good and healthy. Maybe reach the arms back and get a good morning stretch. Breathing in, breathing out, rising up or rolling over to the side and coming up, whatever works for you. And back into Sukhasana. And people, I just want to thank you so much for being here with me today. If you aren't here live and are watching the replay, I thank you. If you missed week 1, that's okay. You could go back and watch it. It's available, or you can ask me for the link and I'll send it to you. Or if you just started here, that's okay. We'll continue to move on. I invite you to save this link and or ask me to email it to you or instant message it to you or whatever. And I will send it to you along with any questions that you might have. Feel free to message me and let me know that you were here or that you watched the video. Give it a like if you enjoyed it. Ask me any questions you'd like. If you want to support this class by offering a donation through Facebook Pay, that's awesome. I really appreciate that. It's not necessary, but if you choose to do so, that's cool. Or PayPal, or however you do it. I like Facebook Pay. It's easy. Just let me know if you need help with that. I'm also on Fiverr.com, Fiverr.com. You can ask me for a link to my profile there. And I offer personal custom yoga classes specific to you. Just answer a few of the questions, read the frequently asked questions, give me a short description of what you're looking to accomplish, and I have those classes available for $20 for an hour-long class. So feel free to check that out or message me if you need more information or find a link on one of my Facebook account pages. Again, my name is Yogi Ahimsananda. Thank you so much for being here with me today. With great love and great respect, Namaste.